Number 1. Animation quality. This is an aspect that has continued to improve with recent Sonic game entries. Shadow Generations was honestly shocking with how within just 2 years we saw massive improvements in cutscene and animation quality. Even more so with the upcoming Sonic Racing Crossworld showing how animated characters can get with their emotes, in their rival introduction cutscenes when they have different banter with each other. And I initially had a full idea of how I was going to attack this specific point, but SEGA released an article talking about how they're evolving animation showing the process of what they did during Shadow Generations, but then they straight up showed some of the new technology they're doing with Maya to improve the animation and visuals, and oh my god, these look incredible. I love the squash and stretch, how bouncy and gregarious Sonic feels. That at one point during Sonic X Shadow Generations development, they were going to completely redo all of base Generations cutscenes, and they look fantastic. The way that both Sonics move, emote, how colorful they are. They even showed that there was going to be a new cutscene of modern Sonic breaking into classic Sonic's boss fight against the Death Egg robot, and it looked awesome. And to remind you, everything you're seeing right now is just conceptual. I can't even begin to imagine how the sequel to Sonic Frontiers is going to look if these animation snippets are anything to go by. They've heard the people loud and clear that they want the animation upgrade, and it looks like we're going to be getting it. Number 2. Improvements to the open zone. Yes, Pop-In was one of the fixes in Shadow Generations' Whitespace Open Zone, but I feel like that there was a lot more than just that. Shadow Generations, there was a set progression system for how the world would unlock, slowly making sure that the player was familiar and getting better with their abilities before giving you new ones. Not just within the linear levels, but within the world. The little high-speed challenges that built off of the action chain challenges. The ways that enemies were dispersed around the environment, making sure they were put in just the right locations to keep your flow state. And also the complete removal of the Guardians, making sure that you could keep your flow state and not be constantly interrupted by text boxes or things that you aren't ready or don't want to fight in that moment. The design and progression of Shadow's open zone brought the right quality of life changes. And just imagine with me real quick. Imagine that Sonic starts off on a central island that is scattered and broken into pieces like Sonic Unleashed. And as you collect Chaos Emeralds and rebuild that open zone, by the time that you're done with the game, then get to Achievement Hunt and get all of the collectibles, you have this massive unified open zone that you can move through at your leisure and now have all the right tools and mastery of them to move and complete objectives the way that you want to. So keep improving the open zone. Number 3, keep it simple. There was a lot of busy work in Sonic Frontiers that just wasn't present in Shadow Generations. Upgrades to your combat power, to your speed, or to your ring count. All things that weren't in Shadow Generations and also weren't necessary. I never had to worry about ring count, it was easy and understandable to manage. I didn't have to worry about a skill tree that overlapped with each other and had abilities that felt contradictory. You just got the Doom powers at set intervals, and it was fun to button mash and beat up enemies and bosses. There's a beauty in simplicity, and I feel like Shadow Generations understood that really well when it came to exactly how to level up the character and the player as they progress. And I am planning a full video diving into combat, because I feel like that's a whole other discussion that can lead into a bunch of other points, because I do want to see exactly where they take combat in the next Sonic Frontiers game. This point is more to illustrate that if they keep it how it is in Shadow Generations, only adding a few small tweaks to it, I think it would be completely fine, because having a more simplified combat system did not diminish my enjoyment of Shadow Generations whatsoever, and I don't think it would for the sequel to Sonic Frontiers either. Number 4, an aesthetic and art direction. For the next Frontier sequel, I want them to go bold with brand new ideas and a striking visual style. I would love to see a cel-shaded style at some point, but Shadow Generations did a good job of feeling bold with its artistic decisions, and I want Sonic Frontiers 2 to be the same. Number 5, story. And on this specific point, I don't blame either Sonic Team and Ian Flynn, because it's been very clear how tumultuous, let's say, the development process for Sonic Frontiers was, with how they needed more time, didn't have the budget, the manpower, but then we got a free year of content that was able to iron out a lot of the kinks that Frontiers had. But it felt good with Shadow Generations that with Dark Beginnings and the story of that game, to have a fully whole cohesive narrative that didn't feel like there were any gaps. That when credits rolled, you felt like you got a complete experience. And I really hope that Sonic Frontiers 2 delivers on that. That we get another excellent prologue animation. That we get another excellent story back to back. Because the more Ian Flynn gets to learn, get feedback, and get comfortable in his role, it feels like this man is getting better with time. And I also want both Sonic Team and the Lore Team to deliver on something that feels special. It was great when Shadow Generations came out to see how excited it made the community across the board. How much everyone, even some of Ian Flynn's greatest haters and critics, shut up and be like, oh, I did not know he could cook like this. Let him prove the haters wrong again, shall we? Number 6, linear level design. What they did for the 3D levels in Shadow Generations, just bring that to the next Frontiers game. Don't do this weird thing where the physics aren't the same and the levels are shorter. No, you have nailed how a 3D linear Sonic level should feel in the boost format. Continue to build on it, look at the excellent levels like Kingdom Valley and Radical Highway, continue to iterate on those ideas, and keep delivering on levels that bring that Genesis philosophy of branching paths, player expression, and a fast pace. Number 7, boss design. Though the Titan fights of Sonic Frontiers had spectacle, they lacked substance, with a lot of the boss fights being very easy to complete through straight button mashing or repetition of specific moves. Shadow Generations did a great job of being able to take the spectacle established in Sonic Frontiers, but push it forward with great gameplay around it. I love that all of the bosses in Shadow Generations feel like platforming bosses, where it feels like you are getting to move around, use the high speed, and being rewarded for making quick decisions on the fly. I also enjoy how the first 3 boss fights are tuned towards specific abilities, as if the game is checking you going like, okay, you've been using these for a minute, let's see if you really know what you're doing. And then with Devil Doom, the final boss of the game, going, okay, show me everything you got, can you do it? Let's see what you're made of. Replaying those boss fights and then doing the hard mode and no damage runs for them was some of the most fun I have personally had playing against boss fights in a Sonic game, and I want them to continue that energy. Bring the spectacle and the substance. Now, even though I mentioned a lot of things from Shadow Generations that I would like to see in the sequel to Sonic Frontiers, Frontiers itself also clearly did a lot of things right, and here's 3 specific things that I really would like to see stay. If there is one specific ability that I missed a ton while playing Shadow Generations, it is the Spin Dash. Being able to have this combination of instant speed, but also an ability that allows you to take advantage of momentum and slope physics, unlocks some of the most fun that you can have in a Sonic game. Just rolling around and being able to go at high speeds through beautiful open worlds. Now, it's definitely broken because the game was not designed with it in mind, but I hope that some iteration of what we saw in DLC 2 in the Final Horizon gets to make an appearance in the next Frontiers game with more polish but equal opportunity for freedom and player expression. Second, to commit to all 3D gameplay from the Final Horizon. If there is one note that Morio Kishimoto got loud and clear from the fans, it is that we want our Sonic games to be all 3D. And one of the great joys of playing the Final Horizon, whether you were Sonic, the gang, or going through cyberspace, everything was in 3D. So continue to keep that feedback in mind. And, on the point of the Final Horizon, keep multiple playable characters. I don't care if it's just Sonic and Shadow for the next game, but I would definitely be disappointed if we go back to just having Sonic playable for Frontiers 2. I still want them to commit to the ending. I want Tails, Knuckles, and Amy to go off on their own adventures, and it's okay if we don't see them in a mainline game for a while. I want to miss them. I want it to be a big event when they get to come back. But now that you've opened up this opportunity, let it be filled by Sonic getting to interact more with characters that he usually doesn't get to, or to get to build relationships with characters that we haven't seen before. Wanted to do a different type of structure for this video. Let me know what you think about this more direct style of content where it's no prologue, no intro, just jumping straight into it. I wanted to see how it feels, and also I want you to tell me. So let me know down below, what do you think Sonic Frontiers 2 needs from Shadow Generations, and what was your favorite element from Sonic Frontiers that you want it to keep? I also want to take this time to thank all of you. Over the past few weeks, not only did this channel hit 4,000 subscribers, but it also hit over 1 million total views. Both numbers that are still hard for me to wrap my head around, and I cannot be more blessed or thankful for the position I'm in. I've been getting some of the best feedback from you guys. We are on that road to getting that silver plaque in 100,000, and I am unbelievably appreciative of the support we get here. I love you all, and thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Love y'all. Have a blessed one.